Welcome. Today we are going to discuss logical connectives. If to be exact, we are going to discuss only one of them, what is disjunction. And for this reason, I have distinguished several questions. Question 1, what is disjunction? Question 2, what is inclusive and exclusive disjunction? And our last question for today's discussion is about unless as a logical disjunction. Okay, let's start with the first question. What is disjunction? We can assert that at least one of the two propositions are true by asserting the disjunction. For example, I will study logic of artificial intelligence. In this example, I've used two simple propositions. Simple proposition 1, our P proposition, I will study logic, and simple proposition 2, Q proposition, I will study artificial intelligence. And in this example, I've used of as a logical operator in order to combine these two simple propositions. It means that I used disjunction as the compound proposition. That is, I will study logic of artificial intelligence. And you can see the symbol of disjunction between P and Q in the presentation. Question 2. What is inclusive and exclusive disjunction? It means that we can use disjunction in two meanings. In the first meaning, I can say that I will study logic of artificial intelligence and maybe both of them. In this meaning, I've used inclusive disjunction. But in the exclusive disjunction, I cannot take both of them. For example, I must say that I will study logic of artificial intelligence and not both of them. Let's analyze inclusive disjunction a bit more. For propositions P and Q, the inclusive disjunction is the proposition which will write as P of Q. P and Q are called the disjuncts of the disjunction. And what's about exclusive disjunction? For propositions P and Q, the exclusive disjunction is the proposition which will write as P of Q, and it is not case that P and Q. Here, P of Q, it means that at least one is true, and it is not case P and Q means that not both are true. Together, it captures the idea that exactly one is true. And our last question for today's discussion is about unless as a logical disjunction. What can we say about this matter? Unless acts like a disjunction too. Unless is logically equivalent to an inclusive disjunction, not exclusive. For example, you will fail unless you study is logically equivalent to A. If you don't study, you will fail. B. You either study or you will fail. Here, of is used in inclusive meaning. This is an inclusive disjunction, meaning at least one of them is true, and possibly both of them can be true at the same time. Okay, that's all for today's discussion. If you have got any question, you can write them. I'd be very glad to answer them. Thank you for watching.